evening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of our podcast, Beneath Your Skin. This is Gaia, going completely insane, and I'm now a goldfish. That's what I decided to do in this Monday, to become a goldfish. Zoe knows what I'm talking about. Hello, my dear. How are you doing?
Hello. Well, I am joining you as the goldfish. Not only have I just literally going my days now going, if you can't hear that, it's the sound of us doing goldfish impressions. But with my French windows and the fact that I'm just walking around my living room half the time, I feel like a goldfish. Oh dear.
Oh, dear. Yeah. Okay. We are going to analyze and talk about the movie called The Possession of Michael King. And I have to quote Shakespeare to open this episode because I think those words he wrote so many centuries ago are perfect for the movie. I will correct the bard just a little bit. I will change just one name. There are more things in heaven and earth, Michael, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. Because this movie is about a man who is stupid enough to play with things he doesn't understand. And he's so sure of himself and so full of rightfulness that he looks like Steve Rogers of the horror movies. And he wants to show the world that entities and demons and God himself, nothing exists, only science, so that the whole world can move finally into the new millennium, leaving behind everything he thinks it's lies or superstition or whatever we want to call it. And what really annoyed me in this movie is not just that he doesn't believe. I don't care if people don't believe. I mean, everyone is free to do what they want with their life. Who am I to judge? But no, it's not that he spit on the face on what people believe into without even realizing it. No, it's just that he does so many shitty things, so many dangerous things, while he's supposed to care for his daughter, who just lost her mom, and she lives in the same house in which Michael does all the shit he does. Okay, that's what really annoyed me. At some point, very close to the beginning of the movie, I really want him to die. I want whatever is out there listening to his nonsensical blah 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 blah. Take him and bring him to hell or to another dimension or another planet or whenever, but as far away from me as possible.
Oh, poor Gaia. Did he stress you out slightly?
Yes. I loved the movie. Don't get me wrong. I really liked the movie. I just can't stand the main character.
Yeah, I mean, see, I adore this film. I first saw it about 5 years ago, and so I'd forgotten some of the stuff that happened in it. But you know what? The jump scare still got to me. I was like, "Whoo! That's how you do jump scares." It just knew how to do them. It was very well done. Like, everyone knows that I am a massive found footage fan. I adore found footage movies. Like, I give them a little extra little pass just because I enjoy the genre so much. But this is considered amongst us found footage obsessives one of the best. This is meant to be one of the best in the genre. And it is, because it definitely held up. Because A, the acting is good. The cinematography, even though it's being filmed on devices, still looks clear and fresh. It's got interesting ideas. It doesn't get too Hollywood with the, like, happy story. It keeps descending into the madness. It's good. And it's got legitimate bits that I really really creeped me out and really scared me. It also did its research it didn't just like throw terms and things into it for the sake of it, but it also played on those ideas of sometimes people are just into this stuff for the fun of it. Michael himself, I'll have to admit, was a very attractive man. I was like, ooh, you good looking man. And I was like, ooh, yeah. But oh, he was such a. Like, the minute you start fooling around with that, and the film makes it quite obvious that the minute he went, oh, if you really exist, come get me, got him right from the minute he said that. None of the messing around with, like, all the rituals and the weird things. None of that actually invited any shit on him. Just him being arrogant enough to go, yeah, God, demons, whatever, come get me. And they were like, well, you've opened yourself up for a can of worms. And I always hated the fact that he did it in the home with his kid. I was like, no, go rent out a studio and do your weird shit there. If I know you don't believe, and I get it, he is so grief stricken at the loss of his wife. He's using this as an excuse to prove that, like, because that supernatural doesn't exist. And I actually think they do a good build up of the idea that it starts off going to see the psychic, and the psychic is like that told them. And if they hadn't have listened to the psychic, and if they'd gone on holiday, the wife wouldn't have died. So he blames the psychic, and therefore he blames all of that for his wife's death. So he's quite happy to go, ha ha, fuck you, superstitions, spirituality, belief, religions, mythologies. And then he realizes how big a mistake he's made. And by that point, it's just too late for him. Just too late. So yeah, frustrating as hell he did it in the first place. But at least they craft an explanation, a reason behind it, rather than like, I'm just going to make a documentary, ha ha ha. He's twisted by grief, and grief makes you do stupid things. And it's too late by the time he realizes that this is not how he should have channeled his grief, and this is not what his wife would have wanted.
I really disliked the moment. I mean, he did some pretty fucked up things that didn't work, of course. What I really disliked was the scene when he visits the dying priest and he basically laughed on his face. He just told you something very personal that happened to him when he was a child. And he's still looking at him with this superiority area, like, okay, you know what, you are a victim of abuse. I can understand why you think that demons are real, but you are delusional and you are also dying. So I won't tell you on your face clearly that I think you're crazy, but I will let everyone know that I really think you are. So no, my dear, because he is the only one who gave you a good advice. Don't listen to them.
Yeah.
Because if they realize you are listening, they realize you are easy to prey on. And what does he do? He listens to them, of course.
Yeah.
And the moment I really, really hated the most is when he realizes he screwed up. And he's like, okay, I believe you now. I believe in you. If I admit that I believe in you, will you just go? Oh no, my dear, that's not how it works. No. You screwed yourself up. You screwed your daughter up because really killing the dog. Oh yeah, that was amazing. That was really a great idea. Okay, you weren't in control of your mind and body, but you asked for this to happen, and you didn't even think to protect your daughter. So, as Zoe said, you should have rented another place and you should have done your shit somewhere else. So, I don't have any sympathy for him. I don't like him. I really, in my headcanon, he also was possessed by a very lower level demons, and I can see the other demons around the world say, hey, do you know what? XXX finally possessed someone. What? Are you shitting me? He couldn't even possess a dog the last time I met him. You know, right, that Lucifer wanted to turn him into a paperweight to give him a use, No, really? No, no, yeah. He possessed the idiots calling for us. Oh, should we tell him that basically he didn't possess anything because the idiot just let him in? Nah, let's him have his fun. That's what I think it really happened in the demon's world.
Yeah.
Because they were like, no, no shit. Really? He possessed someone? Wow. It's the first time since I met him.
He's like, he literally does no protection of himself. But the thing is, even though you don't like him, it's so compelling that like arrogance in the face of it. It's a nice like twist to have a character that is so much of a non-believer, so arrogant about the non-existence of things, that is just so lost in this world and is doing it to prove it and to laugh. He's getting his kicks out of laughing at other people's kind of beliefs and stuff because he's mad at them. And it's like, oh, he's so flawed, but they structured it in a way that made for good movieing and good. And oh, there's so many little bits I like about this film, like how they slowly start putting like one ant in a scene, and as the movie goes on, there's more ants in the scene, and you're just like, oh, lovely little bits of crafting like that, and you're like, where are these ants coming from? And I'm assuming they're crawling out of his ears or coming out of his skin, but he's like, there's always one, and then you see the jar full of dead ants. You're like, Jesus, that's a lot of ants that have been on you. And like the possession stuff, like the way he twists his body, the crawling, the practical effects are good. Like, and also it does delve into some like supernatural belief systems and stuff. And yeah, he's being a twat about them, but the other people are kind of like they're focused it on it and stuff. And it's just like, I mean, it's a good movie, even though the main character is a dick about everything. But it's his absolute arrogance in the face of this that left him so open. Like, there wasn't even like, even if I don't believe in everything, and I don't believe buying like, a plastic demonic summoning ritual on the internet is going to make anything happen, I would sure as hell have like put me in a circle of salt and like, have sigils everywhere just in case. Like, I wouldn't have done any of that stuff without like a priest tagging along or something, like. And yeah, and then he does do the thing like go to the doctors. I do like the bit when he's doing the hypnotism and the flashing light thing, and then one minute he's on the bed and one minute he's not, because they have that whole like, well, is he just going crazy because of grief or is he actually possessed? But then where are the ants coming from and the weird voices and the so it kind of it has that mix of like plausible, realistic, trying to like have people look into the sound, look into the his psychological well-being, and then the mysticism, and then the people that just took him for a ride because they get their kicks off by like pretending to summon demons and shagging in basements, and it's like, oh, you just walked into someone's weird sex dungeon, and like, oh dear. But
Well,
yeah,
maybe they were trying to summon a last demon.
yeah,
We will never know. Maybe they were trying to call Asmodeus.
yes, maybe.
Well, we will never know. And yeah, I like the movie. I really like it. I like the scenes shoot with the night vision camera. Those were very freaky, and I jumped. I give this movie what it deserves. The jumping scenes, they were good. They were scary, and yeah, I enjoyed the movie. But really, I couldn't stand him. I was cheering for the demon or entity or whatever it is that answered his call. Because really, if you are so stupid to challenge something that you don't even understand, then don't come crying to the priest or to anyone else asking for help, because really actions have consequences.
That necromancer even says like, I warned you this could happen. You chose this. Like, what? You can't be like, oh, help me. I'm like, no, you asked for like death to walk into you. You can't say, go, I want it to go away. It's like, well, you never said that you wanted to talk to it and then shut it out afterwards. Like, this is not what I do. I like, and it's just like, oh, you frustrating human. And
Yeah.
yeah, and oh, the one bit that always scares the shit out of me, because there is no real explanation for it. Is when he's outside after finding the pigeon, when he's looking for fishbone, and he looks up and there's a weird white thing in the window. And I was like, what the fudge is that? And then he runs up the stairs and it's suddenly there. I remember just being like, nope, no, what? And you never see it again. You never see an image of it. You never. It's not related to this weird ant demon. It's just a something. And you're like, what? It's not a ghost. Is it a manifestation of his subconscious? Because it's not the demon. The demon's in him. And it's like, was it even meant to be in that movie? Did someone slice in a weird scene of this weird looking white thing? I always just call it the white thing because it's just like, what is it? And to this day there is no explanation of what it was, and it lingers that with me because I forever just afterwards just think, what was the white thing? What is it? Creeped me out.
And I really like that in this movie the demon is never shown. That's perfect, because as I already said, when the creature is shown to us, usually the movie loses the atmosphere and the tension and everything that makes a good horror movie. So I like that they never showed. We saw the demon when the demon himself left him messages, like when he draws the arrows with blood to go downstairs, and then there is the TV screen with "Watch Me" written with blood. I like it. I am a bit sad because the only character who was smart enough to understand that perhaps they were playing with fire and walked out of the project is the one who died.
It's a
Jordan.
Nice guy theory again. If you're sensible and nice in a horror film and male, you die.
Yeah, indeed. Once the first to die were the blonde girls from college and stuff like that. Now is the nice guys. You know what? Can we kill the blonde college students, please?
Go back to that.
Yeah, can we go back to that? I mean, I have nothing against blonde college students, but let's save at least some of the nice guys. Come on. How many nice guys are out there and how many blonde college students? So, let's keep the balance at least. At the end, what really happened to him is that he feels guilty that he didn't die instead of his wife, because he was supposed to go to the car, but because his daughter asked him to help her with something, the wife took the keys and went away, and that's the moment she died. So I think he was so mad at the psychic and at everyone believing in supernatural because he needed someone else to blame. Otherwise, he would have blamed himself since the beginning. And he was too scared to admit that it was perhaps his fault. Even if it wasn't, it was no one's fault. It was just something that happened.
That scene at the end when you find out how the wife died is so poignant, because not only is it the coin that he gives her to put in the money, the same coin you've seen playing with the entire movie, but it was such a freak accident, but it should have been him. The thing is, it could have, if he'd been the one to die, there still could have been a chance that she would have got that big acting break. So there's no proof that the psychic was ever wrong, but he changed fate by just a simple change can change entire fate, your entire destiny and direction. And yeah, she drops the coin, goes to pick it up, hit by car. Such an absolute freak accident, but still she believes that in God, and she has a religion, and she's like, I'm gonna go with the angels now. And that right in that last bit, you find out that one of the various voices in his head was her going, listen, you've got to save our child. And it's just you've got to let this go. And it's just it's a nice round that the mum was still kind of there with him, and now she can move on. But it's just like, oh, such relief. But yeah, it's that guilt. The guilt that he must be thinking it should have been me, or if I'd just gone and done it, maybe he wouldn't have dropped the coin at all because he would have, and they would still be a family. And yeah, that absolute, instead of facing that absolute guilt, he takes it out on the spiritual world because it's an easy thing for him to go and be like, haha, this doesn't exist, but you said so. And it's like, oh, if he just addressed it, if he'd gone and got help sooner, he could have addressed those problems. But instead, like, well, he ends up killing a load of people that really didn't deserve to, and then yeah, having to throw himself out the window, leaving his daughter with nobody. Even have the aunt anymore. So who's going to look after this poor little girl if like 3 members of the family are now dead?
Yeah, and that's why I don't like him.
No.
Because really, you now left your child alone in the world with the stigmata of being the daughter of a crazy serial killer or of a possessed man. And
Yeah.
both options are not good for her. Can you even imagine how cruelly she will be bullied in foster homes?
Yeah. She's going to be
Oh, God.
perfect prey for that demon later on. Because she's going to be so weak against possession because she's been around all that negative energy. She's seen her mum die in front of her and now her dad die in front of her. She's only about, what, 5 or 6? Like, I said, she literally, she was right there when her mum was hit by a car. She was right there when the dad jumped out the window. She's going to go down the stairs and see her aunt's broken neck. She's going to go into her bedroom and there's a dog body, and then there's like the dad's friend's body is hanging on the ceiling. Like, oh, it's just like the girl is going to be traumatized for life, and this demon knows her, and this demon is going to spend the rest of its existence trying to get back to her, and it's like he's
Oh, yeah.
doomed the family. It was such an arrogant and selfish thing he did, and it's the true horror of it all is it doesn't end with him. You just got that feeling that it's not over. She needs to go and join like a convent or something so she can live under protection, or go to Asia and go live with like I was about to say Mace Windu. Mace Windu is not her name. Mace Windu is the name of one of the Jedi's from Star Wars. Oh, from the last film
Boo
we watched,
window.
Boo Windu. That's
Boo
it.
window.
She needs to go there.
Yes. Yes. Or she needs to go to Mercy
Yeah,
and hope the nuns are still there, and hope that they will take her in and she will never see modern society ever again. She will never see anyone belonging to her past life. And yeah,
yeah.
start anew.
Yeah, start anew and be protected far away from this house and her lineage.
Yes. Or she could salt and burn the house, hoping that the demon is still there
Yeah,
somehow. That could be a good end too. But
yeah,
after salting and burning the house, she should go to Asia.
yeah. Definitely. They'd be able to help her out. Go see Boo
Yeah,
Windu.
exactly, exactly. So, people, as you can say, I am so salty. I love the movie, but I hate the main character. And it's very hard because basically there was just one character. Watch the movie because, as Zoe said, it's a good movie. I can understand why it's one of the best, it's considered to be one of the best in the fan footage movies. I enjoyed it. I just hated the main character. So watch it and please tell me if I'm just too bad to Michael, or if you feel the same about him. And Zoe,
I
do
mean,
you have any?
I do love this film, but it's a very classic example of the guy was asking for it. And I hate the position he put. I just hate the idea that that little girl, if nothing supernatural, is growing up without a mother, a father, or her aunt. And that kind of tragedy haunts me. And also, what the hell was that white thing? Because that stays with me. But yeah, great movie.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Great movie, bad character, but if you want to tell us what you think about the movie, you can join us on our Facebook page. You just have to look for Beneath Your Skin, or you can listen to us on Spotify, or drop a line on our Twitter account at beneath underscore your. And we also have a Tumblr account, Beneath Your Skin 2020. So if you want to tell us what you think, we will be happy to listen. And thank you for listening and have a great day. Bye bye.
Always a pleasure talking to everybody, and always a pleasure talking to you, Gaia. So for now, bye-bye, everyone.